Roger Christofferson again here with another first listen review. This is one that I was really looking forward to as well. It is the new release by the band Soen, and it is titled Memorial. And this is actually just coming out very closely after their previous release, which is at the end of the year last year. It was a live album called Atlantis, but even just a year before that, there was another studio album. So they've been knocking them out really quickly here in the last 3 years. And this is one of those bands that I came to know somewhere in the middle of their career. I think it was right around 2017. I got one of their albums called Lycaea, and I probably said that wrong, but they have really strange album titles and song titles that I probably will totally destroy, but it's kind of what I do. But anyway, this new one I was really looking forward to listening to, because after hearing they did with their album Atlantis, where they did like a live album in the studio with an orchestra, a small orchestra, but they did it. I liked them before, but that really made me fall in love with this band, so I was kind of really looking forward to this release, and it did not disappoint. It started out, getting right into it, banging right into it. They started out with a song called Sincere. It gets really intricate rhythms, and it was heavy. They do get very heavy at times, but they didn't waste any time with this one, getting right into it. And the first couple songs are actually kind of like that. And that's not my favorite thing that they do, but we got into it right from the start with those. Although in the next song, they actually do get into the kind of stuff I like, where they added a chorus. It's really cool and catchy with the song Unbreakable. That one really does, that really draws you in and really brings you into the music a lot more, with a great solo from Cody Ford in that one. It kicks in really well, and just keeps the flow of the album going really well. I'm not going to go through song by song here, because it takes me way too long when I do that. But they start getting a little bit more moody as the album goes on, and then by the time they get to the song called Hallowed, and he does it's not really a ballad, but there's a duet there with Elisa, and that one, it gets very atmospheric. It's the way the two voices in that one combine, it's almost haunting. That's probably the best way I can think to describe that one. And they try a few different things on here. Sometimes bands get used to sounding very repetitive, and on this one, of course, they're going to sound like themselves. They kind of got accused of sounding like bands I know Opeth is one that they got compared to a lot, although I don't see, maybe Opeth in the later days musically, but definitely not vocally at all. I see where the comparison comes in there, but songs like Hallowed, they definitely, you can hear that it's their own sound, that stands out from any other band that you could compare them with, at least in my opinion. And then they get to they build up a little bit slowly in the song Memorial, kind of, instead of just jarring you again with another, high output, high energy song, they kind of build it back up again. And the majority of the songs from that point out, are kind of more what I like about them. They're kind of more in the moody, or I don't want to say slower, but they are a little slower tempo, and they kind of take they more adventurous sounding. They tend to maybe use different chord structures and patterns than just your typical hard rock band like they did earlier in the album. It's the first couple songs, and I don't know, that's what I like about this band the most, is when they do the slower, moodier stuff. It's kind of I know why they say they sound like Tool, because they don't sound like Tool at all, but when Tool gets into the slower and more moody type stuff, that's when I really like what they do better. And they're kind of the same way. They take it and they just, I don't know, the sound of the band takes on its own sound at that point. They don't sound like anybody else when they get to the slower, more moody type stuff. And then it ends with actually a really mellow song called Vital. And I tell you, the singing on this is one of the things I like about this band the most. It's really liked me the most. Joel Eklof is a singer. Just his style of singing, he's got a very pure sounding voice, and it doesn't, it's like pitch perfect. I don't think, they don't sound like they use auto-tune or anything like that. I don't hear anything that sounds like that. And if they do, they're using it just enough that you can't really make out that that's what they're doing. So either way, and on the live thing, it's on YouTube. You can watch it if you want to see the videos. They're actually really cool. The whole thing's on there. I didn't know that till after I'd gotten the album, but that's okay. For the Atlantis, what I'm talking about. Worth checking out if you haven't seen that. But his voice is just, anyway, back to what I was saying, his voice is just like pure. It just draws you in. You can just feel the emotion coming through his voice, which I really like. Sometimes bands have a hard time doing that. They just go for the notes and they don't really go for the feel of the song. And somehow he manages to hit it pitch perfect and still have feeling in his voice. So that's the main thing that draws me in about these guys. And a nice way to end it. It's really not that long of an album. I forget if the running time was, a little over 40 some minutes here, but 10 songs, that's really all I needed to hear. It's like, I've noticed a lot of these albums lately are getting shorter, and at first I was kind of like, oh, what the heck's going on? I know they're trying to, vinyl's making a comeback, and so they're trying to like make albums that fit on the vinyl. And so I've seen that happen a lot, especially starting last year. I think I started making note of that, and a lot of these reviews are getting really short. But the more I'm getting used to like the shorter albums, the thing is, I realize I want to listen to them again, like immediately. I don't get sick of them by the time they're done. So maybe it's a smart thing. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that. I'm always willing to listen to other people's opinions. And as always, I welcome everybody to tell me what they think about this band. And maybe they can describe some of this stuff a little better than I did. They're a hard band to describe. I'm like noticing as I'm going through this, they're a really hard band to describe. But because you really can't compare them to too many other bands because they don't sound like anybody else, which is like a great thing, except for when you're trying to like describe it to somebody like I've been trying to do. So anyway, like, share, and subscribe like I always ask, and until next time, we'll see you.